That's the best advice. Live in a college town, hang out at the college parties, meet the college people.
There you go.
Don't necessarily waste your money.
And go and get the free credit cards, the free gifts, the credit cards, and then run up credit card debt. That's a good idea. Because I used to do that. Free towel, free T-shirt, MasterCard T-shirt. Like getting like $2,000 in debt.
Did you ruin your credit?
No, I paid the bill.
See, I didn't.
I found ways to pay the bill.
I got free credit cards when I was young and didn't know about credit. They don't teach that shit in school.
Yeah.
Credit's massively important, would you say?
Yeah.
If I pull out my freaking credit number or whatever you call it, score, right now, what do you think is good?
Well, I'm in the mortgage business, so I mean,
what's good?
We can get a mortgage for somebody at 580, but good, I would say we consider good at 700, 720 and above.
So I'm what I call go balls.
Yeah.
820 plus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The old 800 club.
Wait a minute though. So sometimes when you're in 820, you're not borrowing enough.
Why?
You don't have enough open credit.
Why?
Just because you're not that big of a risk. So they'll give you a really high credit score sometimes, and because you don't have enough open credit, and because if you have more open credit, your credit score drops a little bit because of the risk that you have to be able to borrow more and go nuts with it.
How much?
I think if you're at 740 and above, 740 to 760, you're in great shape. You don't need to be any higher than that.
So that's as good as it needs to be.
Yeah, 740 is the top.
What
tier.
about a 740 with a tax lien?
Ooh, yeah, we got to work on the tax lien. You got to have a payment plan, or you got to figure out something with the tax lien. Yeah, there's different things like that can pop up.
So let me ask you, you are in the mortgage business, but you got a whole team. You have a company.
Yeah.
And you can help people. So if people are listening and they need money, where would they come see you?
They would just call me.
Good.
Or DM me.
Folks, if you need a loan, tell them Drop Bombs, tell them Bomb Squad, hook up.
Yep.
And go get money from Mikey's company.
Anybody that has a mortgage right now should refinance. Anybody. If they haven't in the last 6 months, they need to. They'll save hundreds a month, thousands.
And you're in like, do you have all the services?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
all residential.
Folks,
Residential.
Go get your fucking loan, or get refinanced on your home with old Mikey C-Roc. Why do they call you C-Roc?
Because people can't pronounce my last name, I guess, and so they started calling me C-Roc, and I just rolled with it.
But just from your last name?
Yep. In college. Yep. I played football at Salisbury University, and they called me C-Roc. So I was like, okay, let's roll with it. I put it on a license plate on my Eagle Talon. I think it was a 1990-something Eagle Talon.
In 1990, though?
Something.
Because, dude, those Eagle Talons were kick-ass for a second.
It had a black top, and it was like, I don't know, some kind of baby blue color, and stick shift. So I put C-Roc on the back. And one time, I was dating this girl, and I guess she had a boyfriend. I didn't know. And I was at her house, and the next morning woke up, and I came out, my tires were slashed, and the C-Roc plates were ripped off. And I said, man, I'm getting haters. I'm going to roll with this name. C-Roc it is.
C-Roc
so we just kept going with it, man. No, that's where it came from, though.
What's People Builder?
People building. So I'm in the mortgage business. That's our vehicle. I've been doing that since 2006. But every morning I wake up, I'm building people. Like, I don't really focus on the mortgages that much. We have people that know how to do that. That's what they're doing. Every single day I wake up, I'm working with my people, trying to build them in different areas of their life. Leadership, communication, emotional response, resiliency. And we focus on those things all the time. So I said, you know what? I'm doing this every day at our mortgage business. I'm going to keep developing our people, but let's scale this outside of the business and go after it with other businesses and show them how to build their people and what it does for their business. And that's where it came from. So
now you're coaching people on that?
Yeah, consulting, coaching, training. Yep, that's where we're going.
Now, your podcast, which is quite popular, What Are You Made Of?
Yeah.
What
are you made of?
What are you made of? When did you start that?
About a year ago, I got an idea. I was going on podcasts, and I was like, man, this is pretty simple. I thought it was a lot more hard, difficult. And I just said, you know what? I got a story to tell. I met Pete Vargas, and he told you how to tell your story. Mm-hmm. And like we were talking about earlier, and I said, man, his story sounds like mine. And it hit me. And I'm like, if I connect with his story, I need to share my story because people will connect with it. And the reason people don't share their story, by the way, one is because they think that nobody cares. They think their story's ordinary, or they underestimate the power that their story can, impact millions of people with. So one thing for me, for example, when I was 11 years old, I had this is the story that I tell all the time is I thought my life was ordinary growing up in a broken home. My mom, dad, I don't ever remember them together except for wedding pictures. And so, I lived with my dad for 3 years. And while I was living there, I went through a lot of emotional and traumatic, like just mental abuse. Parents fighting, conflict of custody, child support, all this stuff. Thought it was normal though. But as a kid, you're going through this stuff and it's not normal. But I didn't want to tell that story before because one, I was a little embarrassed by it, dealing with that as a kid. But I did know it was ordinary and I thought, everybody deals with this shit. So I never shared it. So, my dad giving up on me when I decided to leave that environment. He wasn't too happy. He got served court papers. I go home from school one day and he says, hey, go in your room. And I go in my room waiting for my hero, my dad, Mason, laid block, poured concrete, always had rough hands. I looked up to him for the fact that he was a hard worker, and he also carried a wad of $100 bills in his pocket. Had a rubber band around it. And I thought that was cool. So I always looked up to him. And my hero comes in and says, hey, it looks like you want to move back with your mom. And I said, yeah, I've made that decision. And my mom said, stick to your guns. If you ever make a decision, you're sure. Stick to your guns because people will try to talk you out of things that you believe in. So I stuck to my guns. And he said, if that's the case, they don't have it that well there. Like here, we have money. They don't have money there. What are you going to do if you want to go to dinner or this and that? I said, you know what? Happiness is more important to me right now. Like I want to be in an environment with love and no conflict. So he said, okay. So he takes out the wad of $100 bills I always looked up to him for, peels a $100 bill off, crumples it up and throws it at me and says, here, you're going to need this when you're living on the streets with your mother one day. And I was 11 when this happened.
Damn.
And I'm thinking.
Hold on. 11 years old he said that to you? Damn.
And I was thinking.
I was picturing 18-year-old C-Roc listening to Pops.
Yeah, that'd be a little different. But you know what? I was mature at that age. I grew up around a lot of broken people, alcoholics, drug addicts. My grandmother committed suicide. I was around a lot of brokenness, and so people building stemmed from that. I was always trying to help people. I felt like throughout my whole life, I never gave up on people, and I never took the wrong route with them. I always tried to lift them up and try to put them on the right track. So at a young age, I was doing that. So when he did that, I thought to myself, you know what? You ain't winning, first of all. I'm stubborn to a fault. That's a strength and a weakness of mine. And the other thing I thought to myself was, remember, I thought this was an ordinary scenario. I can't be the only one going through this. Like, there's got to be other people that their hero threw in the towel on them. And I said, I'm gonna provide an example for people. Like, I'm gonna be a role model.
Go back. He said, basically threw a $100 bill at you and said, you're gonna need that shit. And then what?
No, so right after that happened, like that happened, I didn't pick the $100 bill up. I just sat there and was like,
but that's it.
No. I just sat at that story right there. I said, yeah, I'm gonna leave. And then I'm sitting there after he did that. I'm in shock. He turns and leaves. And then so from there, the courts had to do their thing. I had to go to child psychiatrists, all this.
But you said he gave up on you. How did he give up on you?
When your dad throws the $100 bill at you and says, hey, you're going to need this when you're living on the streets one day, right?
Well, again, because my dad was a smart ass too, but giving up on you means like, and that's it. Motherfucker never talk to you again.
Yeah, that's the long story. I was trying to keep it short. So the courts did their thing. I'm in this house awkward as shit, right? For I don't know how long after that.
The dad's house.
Yeah, living there waiting for this all to transpire. After that, I go to my mom's in summertime, and I signed up for school and football, junior league football when I was 11. And when it was time to go to school, and I would usually go back to my dad's house or something where I'd lived, didn't happen. And then so from there, didn't talk to him. And so he would send his wife would send pictures. I haven't shared this to a lot of people, so this is a little secret stuff.
Dropping bombs exclusive.
No, I gotta give you the details, but. There's a lot of animosity and things going on with the parents. Let's put it that way. I don't want to get into two names or anything like that. But I'd be as an 11, 12-year-old kid getting pictures coming to my house with vacations that they were taking with the other kids that were there. Hey, we went to this, this, and this. And little digs thrown in there. And I'm 11.
From a stepmom?
Yeah, just leave it there. Yeah. Well, yeah, stepmom. And I'm sure my dad knew what was going on. I don't know. But
maybe your dad was saying, hey, send Mikey that little fucking photo of us at Disneyland.
But the thing is, it's wrong to do, right? I knew that was wrong, and I'm like, I can't even believe this is happening, and it kept coming. So one, my dad gives up on me at that point. Like throwing a $100 bill to me was like, dude, I'm Rocky.
He's fighting. Pissed. You chose your fucking mom.
Right. I'm fighting, and he throws in the towel, and I'm fighting. So that came about in my mind, and it stuck with me. But that moment right there, said to myself, there's no way I'm letting him win. Like I'm on a mission now.
Yeah.
So everything I did, I just went hard at. Now, I'm not the biggest dude. I'm 5'6" 3/4. I played college football, okay? And because I hustled and worked hard. And I just knew that I was going to do everything I could to not need that $100 bill that was on the ground. And so about 3 years ago, I started realizing, you know what? What am I driving on every day? I think everybody that's successful is driving off something, whether it's somebody giving up on them, Tom Brady getting drafted in the 6th round, Michael Jordan's guy that beat him out on the high school basketball team. He used that all his career. This is my thing. And I think everybody has their thing. And if they don't, they need to find their thing. So I've been using that. So I always said to myself too, what are you made of? If I go through tough times, if things are going good and I want to take it to the next level, I believe in self-talk. So I'm always like, man, you're built for this shit. What are you made of, man? You got this. If I'm at the gym, I'm dying because I go hard like at the gym. I want to go like just finish this workout. Come on, man. What are you made? Let's go. So I'm always talking to myself. So I said, podcast, name, share a story. What are you made of? And what do I say to myself all the time? So I named it that. And then that caught on, and people wanted to come on the show to tell me what they're made of. And when I asked you that question, you were kind of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm made of.
Did I?
I don't know. I remember something like that. And I'm like, shit, okay. What's your story, Brad? What are you made of, you know?
That don't matter. That's funny because when I get on podcasts, people ask me stories like I'm going to bust out with this fucking sad story.
Yeah.
And again, I could. Like if I tell my story from a sad perspective,
yeah.
Oh, dude, I can jerk a tear or two.
Right.
Like when you're telling me your dad gave up on you, well, fuck, at least he fucking, you know,
no,
at least you had him for a minute.
Yeah, no.
When I was a kid, you know, I could get that way, but
yeah.
I've always saw things from a positive perspective, even though I do realize that there was negative shit. But like when people ask me what was your hardest thing? You know, tell me something that you overcame, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know. And then they're like, they don't know what to say. Is that what happened to you?
No. But see, here's the thing.
You recovered?
I don't play a victim role, and I thank him for doing that. When I look back on it now, because I've been driving off of that my whole life. I've gotten to where I am because of that. And I've been able to help other people because of it. So at the end of the day, it's a blessing. I tell the story not to play a victim, but to show people, turn your setbacks into rocket fuel. That's
for sure.
That's my message to people.
And you got a book coming out called Rocket Fuel.
Yep.
And dude, it's interesting shit. And again, I didn't mean that I don't play victim and you are.
No, I got you.
I grew up where I had some issues, but when I think back, I don't really think of them at the time, especially as issues. Right. And now I don't even think about them. But when I was on your podcast and you asked me that question, that's probably why I couldn't answer you. Cause like, right. I don't really think back like that, but now that you're telling me what the show's for and what it's about, now I know, like, do it again. Have me on again and I'll tell you what I'm made of.
I will. And that's my fault because I didn't explain that to you good enough.
Should I tell people I went to prison?
Yeah, man.
Fucking had a hard time.
Share the stories. People want to hear that stuff.
Hooked on crack for 3 straight days. I'm just joking. I've already told them all.
Oh, okay.
If you listen to every podcast, Dropping Bombs, dude, you probably have heard the crack story. And, you know, I've been to jail 100 times, it seems like. It's not really 100 times, but, dude, I've had some fucking hard times.
Well, here's the thing. Wait a minute. So when you look back at these things, I don't believe in just looking back all the time and being focused on your past.
But however, using it.
Use that shit.
And it works.
And it does. And here's the thing. I don't want to just get into the sky with a rocket, right? I want to go to orbit. Orbit's away from everything that can pull you back. You're indestructible. That's what I'm always aiming for. And I think everybody's aiming for that, whether they consider that freedom, happiness, whatever it is.
What do you think it is?
Where nobody can touch you.